This show was underwritten by the Avis and Bruce Richards Family Foundation.
Hi, and welcome to LunchNYC. Over the past 11 weeks, we've explored all different ways New Yorkers are getting healthy and eating right. We've gone into our schools and parks and neighborhoods and even had time to grab a healthy dessert. Well, today we're looking forward to the future of a healthy and sustainable New York City. We'll check out ways technology, innovation, and even perseverance are going to keep New Yorkers ticking for decades to come. So what are we waiting for? Let's check it out.
Technology has brought us some pretty wonderful things. Faster information, increased communication, but how about better tasting food? At the French Culinary Institute, new techniques are being discovered every day to help chefs maximize their ingredients.
The history of food has been about discovering better, easier, more efficient ways of eating. And even just cooking food was a technological advance. Technology is fantastic, and I know a lot of people are fighting some of the newer technologies, but you know, if you take sous vide, for example, it's not playing with the food, it's understanding time and temperature.
Sous vide is anything in a vacuum bag, right? Sous vide is a much older technology than low temperature cooking, and the reason sous vide is popular today with high-end chefs isn't the sous vide. Sous vide is great. Vacuum bagging is great because you remove oxygen, which is going to decrease spoilage. It also decreases things going rancid. Things last a lot longer. They look brighter. They don't oxidize. But that technology has been around a long, long time. The reason it's so popular right now is because it's a good way to do low-temperature cooking.
We shouldn't be afraid of technology. We should embrace it, but it has to have a mantra of saying it's keeping the integrity of the food, it's making the food more delicious.
The main goal of everything we work on is to come up with things that are more delicious or better. I'm in the technology department here, so we tend to use new technologies and techniques and ingredients to achieve those aims, but it's really all about just trying to make things delicious. What they remove in their freeze drying is primarily water. This tastes just like fresh corn. So what we're going to do is, instead of rehydrating it with water, which isn't going to add any flavor that wasn't already there, we're going to rehydrate it with lobster stock and cream, and it's going to become this kind of shellfish corn. Here's how bagging a Ziploc works. So you take and you seal all the way down, you leave your finger here, right? And so pointing it like this means all the air is going to want to come up, right? And holding it here, making sure it's sealed, means that you have a place the air can come out. It's not closed. Then you get something that's water, deep enough. The water is going to displace the air. And then when you put the bag into the water, you put it in such the air wants to come up, right? And then right before it's about to sink under the surface, you close it. The real miracle of this technique is just how fast this finish step is, and also how perfect it is every time. So here's classic low temp look. See, it's perfectly cooked all the way through with just the line where I seared it. We've used some new techniques to create food that's not really outside of anyone's comfort zone, just make it a little bit better. So we've used freeze-dried, which is dehydration process, corn, so that we can infuse that corn with the flavor of lobster and cream, which is delicious. And we've used low temperature cooking to cook this steak perfectly in a way that would be very difficult to replicate in a mass scale, but it's very easy and doesn't require a huge level of proficiency to do. One of the things I like to focus on here at the school is using these new technologies just to make products better, not necessarily to make them look crazier or look different. And so I think these applications that we do, like I showed you, or steak and I showed you the corn, these are not something that a diner would necessarily know that I've used technology for, but it just makes a better product, either easier for a chef to make or just better overall.
I think as long as it makes the food more delicious and respects the integrity of the food, We should constantly be pushing the doors of technology. But when it becomes abused, like I was talking about before, with either mass production or not respecting how we're treating the earth or the animal or the land, then we have to pull back.
The French Culinary Institute continues to research new and exciting ways to prepare our food.
Dogs can be great companions anywhere you go in the city, and being able to bring your pet with you is a wonderful way to give them exercise and have fun outside the house. There are some great restaurants and cafes all around the city that cater to canines, but it's important to know which ones are dog-friendly. So call ahead or check the restaurant's website to see what their pet policy is. They'll be happy to serve you and your dog, and they might even have treats for the both of you. New York's a great city to have a dog and dine in, and with a little research, there's no reason why you can't do both.
Food can be used for a lot of things: comfort, nourishment, entertaining. But can the foods we eat make us feel better? At Food Solutions, classes are designed to explore ways diet can be used to control chronic pain and other medical symptoms.
The science of nutrition is not just about nutrients, it's about nourishment, and part of nourishment is food.
We all have a very different palate, we all have a different pocketbook, we have a different culture. And the only way nutrition education works is if you can literally put food in people's mouths to open their ears, and it's the food that works for them, for their life, for what they can afford, their disease state, their culinary capability.
What we're hoping to do with Food Solutions is create a space where people can come and address a specific health concern that they have, and then actually gain the knowledge and the skills. The skills is what is key here to make those changes. What we like to do at each station is give a person an opportunity to discuss and to mix and match certain things, and they get to taste exactly what we're talking about.
It's a live workshop, so that Dr. James Dillard isn't just talking to 80 people in New York. He can talk to however many people. We can live stream or can buy a virtual seat. We have a lot of practitioners who come because they know that we are working on this cutting edge of translating the science that they understand to the plate that they may not.
Food is so important in medical practice of all kinds, because now we are learning that most of the really serious illnesses that we have in this country, heart disease, cancer, stroke, neurodegenerative illnesses like Alzheimer's, these conditions are very much affected by what you eat. Nutrition has two areas. One is how to eat well to stay healthy, to be healthy as a healthy person. Then there's the use of nutritional medicine for sick people, using food as medicine. So the first thing we can do is just eat vegetables and fruit as the majority of what you're eating. Add simple proteins that are relatively low in fat, not so much the heavy saturated fat. Don't eat any of the hydrogenated and trans fats, like my patient who loved her chips and loved things that were fried and greasy, as so many of us do. And that will be the foundation of the anti-inflammatory diet.
The Palate Fund is a non-profit organization that provides nutrition education to the general public through various programs. One of those programs being Food Solutions seminars. Our ultimate goal is really to help people make the connection between food and health. I find that giving nutrition lectures is helpful, but it does not click. It doesn't have the same follow-up or the same experience when you're cooking with somebody.
What we're doing in those four walls is great and amazing and has so many wonderful assets. But what happens when people walk out the door? And that's an issue that we have to address, and that's something that we've talked about, because we want people to take something home that they're actually going to be able to use and that's going to be applicable to their lifestyle. We're really looking at some grassroots change here that's going to take time, but there is a gap in the marketplace, and Amanda and I have been floating around this area for a long time. Now's the time that it has to be done, because we have to stop the sickness.
I believe that food can be used as medicine, and I've seen the results.
If we start to demand more, we're going to actually get more.
Food Solutions is committed to educating New Yorkers about what they eat and how it affects who they are.
Living and working in the city can be stressful at times. That's why it's really important to find some time to relax every day. Designate an hour each day just to spend time with yourself or loved ones. Turn off your phone and unplug your computer and let people know you can't be reached. Take the time to read a book, talk to a loved one, or just close your eyes and relax. That extra 60 minutes of silence will allow you to focus and relieve stress for the rest of the day.
Living in New York can make it difficult to find the time to go out and shop for healthy food. The folks at Fresh Direct have been offering a solution to this problem for over 8 years, bringing the market to the people.
Conceptually, when we first launched the company, the thought was to provide everything direct to the customer from the farm. While in concept that sounds great, it wasn't really feasible when we first opened the doors because we had 10 or 20 customers the first day. It wasn't really until the company progressed over the last few years where we were able to go with a lot of direct shipping, which is what we're doing now. Most of the perishables that we buy now are direct. In the beginning, that was more challenging for us and we had to rely a lot more on distribution. The way our business works is it starts with the customer placing their order. We've designed a website that gives the customer a lot of information on each product that they buy and allows them to research it a bit, from the nutrition to the sourcing of where the product's from. Number one goal is really providing as much information to the customer that you can.
New York City is so smart, they're so intelligent, there's a lot more awareness about eating locally, eating sustainably, fighting pediatric obesity, exercising more. As a nutritionist, one of my favorite things about Fresh Direct is the high quality of all of our perishables. Fresh fruits, vegetables, lean meats, seafood. We make the healthy choice the easy choice. If the food tastes great, looks great, it makes it much more easy to eat for health. The population as a whole is definitely more internet savvy, and there is a lot of information about nutrition and health out there, and I think that is a part of people's growing awareness. One of the things that we strive to do is put the nutrition information at the customer's fingertips, so it's almost like going through a grocery store with a nutritionist at your side.
The newer innovations like the iPhone and the applications that has just sort of opens up that level of ease to customers. So you could be in your car on your way home from the beach and you can actually place your order for the next day.
Though our customers are shopping through a computer and using the website to order their food, we also try to leverage technology to make the experience as personal as possible, potentially even more personal than walking into a traditional grocery store.
Once the order is placed and confirmed, we have our first cutoff at 11 o'clock at night. Our computer systems will aggregate all of the orders by department and then in essence tell each department exactly what they need to do. Boxes are loaded onto the trucks and then they're delivered starting at 5 in the morning.
Anecdotally from our customers, I hear that Fresh Direct makes a huge difference in family life because rather than walking through a grocery store, you get to spend more time with your family. The other thing is because you get to review your entire order before you click submit, you get to really make a plan. New Yorkers are concerned about health and they really care about making smart choices when it comes to food. And so that's really where the inspiration came from, to create a nutrition-driven line of our successful 4-minute meals. It's a very close collaboration between the R&D chefs and myself as the nutritionist. We work together on the development, we work together on the ingredients. They're definitely fresh options. It's almost as if you cooked at home one evening and decided to eat your meal the next day. There's no artificial trans fats in our meals. They are made with high quality, fresh ingredients downstairs every single day.
Oftentimes people refer to Fresh Direct as an internet company, and I think that's certainly true. We use technology to help make our production more efficient, and we use technology to help improve the quality of the food.
As technology continues to improve, the distance and time between consumers and fresh products becomes smaller, making it easier to eat healthy even in the busy city.
Mixing up fruits and vegetables and serving them in a really unique way is a great way to get your kids excited about eating healthy. Now, I found this recipe from raw food guru Natalia Rose that she calls green lemonade. It's awesome. You take dark leafy green vegetables like fresh spinach or kale or even lettuce. You get a nice juicy lemon and ice cold sweet juicy apples. You put them all in your juicer and the result is green lemonade. It's so good. And they're getting more than their daily dose of fruits and vegetables in just one serving. So the next time you tell your kids to eat your veggies, remember, you can always have them drink them too.
New York is arguably the greatest city in the world, and keeping that title means constantly looking to the future. The city government and the Bloomberg administration have a plan.
The Department of City Planning came up with a population projection for the city that we are going to grow by 1 million people by the year 2030. So that kicked off a large planning process of all of the major city agencies to think about what the city was going to look like in 2030, what we needed to do to accommodate that growth. From that effort, the mayor released LunchNYC in 2007, and there's really a long-term sustainability plan for the city, looking at what are the things that we need to do to accommodate the growth of 1 million people by the year 2030, and in doing so, create a greener, greater New York.
Transportation is a huge part of the sustainability equation. As population increases, so does the need for better ways to get around.
One of the main goals within the plan is to ensure that residents have multiple sustainable transit options, and a lot of that is through mass transit. We've also paved over 200 miles of bike lanes and created a bike network throughout the city, over 1,000 bike racks, and that's part of our goal of almost 2,000-mile bike network that we have.
We know that New Yorkers who walk and bike report better overall health, and in 2009 the New York City Department of Health put out a report showing that people who engage in active forms of transportation on a regular basis just feel healthier.
Transportation Alternatives is a membership organization. Our mission is to reclaim New York City streets from the automobile and promote biking, walking, and public transit as the best transportation alternatives. Most car trips in New York City are less than 3 miles. About a quarter of the trips are 1 mile or less. That's a distance that's very easily walkable. We're not saying that everybody in New York needs to sell their car tomorrow. What we're saying is that more options need to be provided. In a city that's so flat and dense and really temperate as New York, walking and riding a bike are very suitable modes for making a lot of trips around the city.
Congestion costs the city about $13 billion a year and lost economic productivity. So anything we can do to reduce the congestion saves people time and saves businesses and people money as well as the tremendous public health benefits.
New Yorkers consume a staggering amount of energy. LunchNYC, along with power providers, are committed to making that electricity last.
One of the major initiatives in the plan was passage of landmark green building legislation that was passed in December 2009. And through a number of efforts, we think it's going to achieve a 5% reduction in our energy consumption in the city, a 5% reduction in our greenhouse gas emissions. It will save energy ratepayers about $700 million a year and create about 17,000 jobs.
New York State's goals is to increase the percentage of electricity that comes from renewables from where it is now to 30% of all electricity in the state being from renewable energy resources by 2015. So far, just about all of the new renewable projects that have been developed have been wind power, and the wind power projects have been built in upstate New York.
There are now about 1,800 wind turbines operating throughout New York State, making pollution-free electricity. Our company started with the idea that, well, if people could choose who they buy their electricity from, maybe they'd care how their electricity is made. The biggest thing is helping New Yorkers know that they have a choice. That's the thing. They can choose who they buy their electricity from. They can choose how it's made. It's easy, it's reliable, it's affordable, but it's just starting to catch on. Like anything else, the more people demand it, the more pollution-free electricity is going to be built. There's nothing to install on your home or your apartment building. It all comes over the same poles and wires that we have here now. You still get one bill from Con Edison. You don't get two bills from two different companies. Our charges are on the Con Edison bill. You pay Con Edison like you always did. If you have a levelized payment plan, you pay Con Edison. So again, it's easier than recycling.
The other thing we're focusing on now, because we're now allowed to, is encouraging our customers to be more energy efficient.
All of those things that plug in, your chargers and your microwave, their active use represents 70% of the use. Idle and standby and off represents 30%. Using what we call smart strips, that will provide protection for the device, but also allow you to turn them off without destroying the programming. Electricity is not cheap in New York. Using it wisely will only benefit you.
New York City can't function, can't grow unless it has adequate supply, have reliable energy to meet the needs of its residents and the people that want to work here.
It's homegrown. It's home-blown if it's the wind power. We don't have to depend on a foreign country for our energy needs when we're making it here in the United States, here in New York State.
By implementing PlanNYC, by working in partnership with local groups and businesses and citizens, we can all work to creating a greener, greater New York.
As we look forward to the next few years, decades, and centuries, New Yorkers are becoming more conscious of the choices they make, allowing future generations to enjoy the city we all love.
Keeping track of things like calories burned and heart rate are good ways to get the most out of your workout. And now, new technology and mobile phone apps, it's easier than ever to stay on top of your body stats as you work away at the gym. Do the research. Find the technology that works best for what you do. Then plug in and watch the calories literally drop. But remember, no gizmo will ever replace good old hard work. So use technology to enhance your workout, not replace it. Planning out your workouts and schedules will be easier than ever, and you'll be on the cutting edge of being fit.
I'm Dylan. I'm always hungry, and I'm always looking for a new restaurant in New York City. But here's the thing, it has to be healthy. Let's visit all 5 boroughs to find the best healthy food in New York City. I'm here at Madison and 40th, and I'm going to be checking out 4 Food. I hear they have a great burger, and it even has a hole in it. Let's go check it out. What makes you different than the other fast food places?
I think we offer a very healthy, ethical, sustainable fast food.
And I heard on the menu you could create your own burger.
You can create your own burger. You can create it, you can name it, and then you can order it by name, make it kind of efficient for you and us. You can market it to your friends. There are actually over 140 million unique combinations that you can make here. This is a walk-in refrigerator. This is where we form all of our patties. All the meats are ground fresh daily and just kept refrigerated. They're never frozen. There's 0 high fructose corn syrup in the whole restaurant. This is the machine that forms our patties. We put the proteins in here. They fill this drum, right, which then spins around and punches them out onto this belt, forming the patty with a hole in it. Nothing's fried, nothing's frozen, everything's seasonal. We make small batches of fresh food daily. We get food deliveries every morning, and we make small batches throughout the day. Our menu, again, rotates things seasonally. When we run out of an item, it just retires itself from the menu. This is our composter. Runs 24/7, 365. So we're trying to see if we can make sort of a full loop with our purveyors where we get their produce, give them back fertilizer from their produce waste, and sort of complete the loop.
Thanks.
So Dylan, this is your receipt from the custom meal you just ordered. It breaks down all the nutritional properties of each item in your meal and then aggregates it at the bottom. The burger has a hole in it. It's donut shaped.
So by removing some of the meat, that usually gets filled with a variety of vegetable scoops, which also really transforms the taste of the whole burger.
4 Foods burger was completely different than any other burger I've seen out there. It has a hole in the middle of it where you can put your toppings, dressings, even your cheeses. The taste was excellent. I've never had a fast food burger better than this one. I would definitely recommend to go to 4 Foods.
Thanks for joining us for our very first season of LunchNYC. We got to see some amazing examples of how the people of New York are committed to creating and maintaining a healthy environment for future generations to enjoy. And thanks again for a great first season of LunchNYC. There are literally thousands of ways to get involved in healthy living here in New York. So get out there and spread the word. We all share this city together. Good night.
Funding provided by